That you know how to draw a tree, I'd like you to draw one tree in the foreground where the bottom of the tree touches the bottom of the paper and the top of the tree touches the top of the paper. The second tree is going to start halfway up, higher on the page, but the top of it is still going to touch the top of the page, and it's going to hide behind your first tree. In other words, you're going to overlap. So that means you're going to make the branches of your second tree hide behind the branches of your first tree. Okay? And what you're going to do is your first tree, the branches can go right off the edge of the paper. If they get so skinny that they can't go off the side of the paper, just make them come together in a point. Okay? The second tree, the branches are also going to go off the edge of the paper or come together in a point. The third tree is going to be up on the horizon line. It can be significantly smaller. And the horizon line is where the earth meets the sky. So anything from here up, when you go to paint it later, will be sky. Anything from here down will be earth. So now you have a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. You have overlapping, and you have a horizon. Draw the sun in your picture. What you're going to do instead is you're going to imagine that the sun is off the edge of the paper, slightly higher than where the paper is, and that the light is streaming in from here and hitting the trees from the side. Now, light, as you know from your science class, travels in a straight line. Therefore, it can't get around to the right-hand side of each branch, and therefore there's going to be shadows. So what you do is you're going to take a 6B pencil. How do you know it's a 6B? You got to look at the silver writing on the side and see that it says 6B. Okay? Now you're going to go to the right-hand side of each branch very carefully, and you're going to trace the right-hand side of each branch with the 6B pencil. It is extremely important that you don't mess up and accidentally trace the entire tree. No, don't do that. Only the right-hand side, because you're trying to create a sense of light and shadow. If you accidentally trace the entire tree instead of just the right-hand side, you have officially messed up and you're going to need to start again. Okay, so please don't do that. The idea is that the light is hitting each branch on the left-hand side, but can't get around to the right-hand side, and therefore on the right-hand side of each branch is a shadow. Okay? We're not tracing over the whole tree just to make it darker. We're trying to make shadows. Now you're going to take the side of your 6B pencil, and wherever you drew that line, you're going to shade out with the side, not the point of the 6B pencil. If you didn't draw a dark line there, don't shade out. You're not shading out into the entire tree. You're merely shading out a little bit with the 6B pencil, and only from that dark line that you created. No dark line equals no shading, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to create a tonal range from black to dark gray to medium gray to light gray all the way to white. So you're going to go through every part of the tree where there is a black line, and you're going to use the side of your pencil to shade out. Your next step is you're going to take a Tortillon blending stump, and as you recall from when we did the face shading, blending stump is just wound paper. There's no pencil in it. And you're going to start at the blackest part and shade out. Now remember that a tree is a cylinder shape. Therefore, you shade out, but also curve your lines slightly. What you're going to start to get is a feeling of light and shadow, so that even though there's no sun in your picture, anyone looking at your picture will know where the light source is. And that's part of what I'm grading you on, is that I can look at your picture and immediately tell where that single light source is, where that sun is. That's part of how I'm going to evaluate your work. And now there's the tree. You see how it goes from dark to light, and you see how it's very obvious, even when you can't see the sun, exactly where the light source is. I've now just done the same for the middle tree, and I'm currently doing the same for the last tree. The light source is the same. There's only one single light source. That's the sun in a landscape. And we're going to pretend it's a bright sunny day, so the light is very strong, and therefore you see very distinct shadows. Now at this point you are ready to paint.